Let me tell you something most men get wrong. You don't need a chiseled jawline or a bank account the size of a small country to make a woman think about you long after you're gone. What really stays in her mind is your frame, that unshakable sense of who you are, and the quiet, steady power that comes from a man who doesn't need to prove himself. Think about it. When you walk into a room and you're not scrambling for attention, when you can listen without rushing to fill the silence, when your presence alone changes the air, that's when she feels both safe and endlessly curious. Because you're not trying to sell yourself. You're living in a way that makes her want to know more. That's the paradox. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. Over the years, I've learned there are 8 Stoic principles that make a woman remember you. Not just for a night, but for a lifetime. These aren't tricks. They're ways of being. And once you understand them, you'll never have to wonder if you're enough again. So let's break them down. Part 1, the unshakable frame. They call it frame. But it's more than just a mindset. It's the backbone of who you are. Your values, your standards, your worldview. All the things that don't shift just because the wind changes. Most men don't realize how quickly they give this away. A woman gets upset, they bend. Someone threatens to leave, they compromise their principles to keep them close. And with every small surrender, their frame gets weaker until there's nothing left to respect. But a man with an unshakable frame, he's different. He doesn't let someone else's mood decide his own. He doesn't rewrite his rules to avoid losing a person. He stands where he's always stood, not because he's stubborn, but because he knows who he is. And here's the thing, when a woman sees that, she feels something rare. Security. Stability. A point of gravity she can orbit around without fear that it will drift away tomorrow. Men like that, they don't have to ask for loyalty. They become the place where loyalty naturally lives. Part 2, the mirror effect. Most men try to change a woman. They push, they argue, they try to fix her, and in the process, they kill the very spark that drew them in. A Stoic man does something different. He becomes a mirror. When she's joyful, he reflects that light back, but he doesn't get lost in it. When she's angry, he stays calm, and she finds herself calming too. When she's vulnerable, he doesn't judge or rush to solve. He simply holds space, letting her see herself more clearly. This is the power of the mirror. You don't fight her emotions, you guide them without a single word. You make her feel understood in a way that's almost unsettling, because so few men can do it. And the more she sees herself in you, the more she trusts you. Not because you've convinced her to, but because she's experienced what it's like to be truly seen. That's when attraction stops being a game and starts being a bond she'll protect with everything she has. Part 3, controlled mystery. Most men think the way to connect with a woman is to spill everything. Every story, every thought, every plan, laid out on the table like an open book. But here's the truth. When she knows everything about you too soon, she stops wondering. And curiosity is the spark that keeps attraction alive. A Stoic man understands this. He doesn't hide to be manipulative. He chooses what to share, and when. He lets her see glimpses of his past, hints of his struggles, flashes of his victories, but never the full map all at once. Because mystery isn't about secrets, it's about pacing. It's about letting her discover you layer by layer. Just like a good novel she can't put down. And the beauty of this, when she doesn't know exactly what you'll say next, or where you'll be next, she thinks about you more. She imagines. She wonders. And that wonder is what makes her reach for you, again and again. Controlled mystery isn't playing games. It's simply refusing to give yourself away before she's earned the right to know you fully. Part 4, emotional composure. Emotions are powerful. But for most men, they're in the driver's seat. They get angry, they snap. They get excited, they overpromise. They ride the highs and lows like a storm-tossed boat, and then wonder why no one trusts them to lead. A Stoic man is different. He feels everything, anger, joy, pain, but he chooses how to respond. He doesn't let an insult pull him into a fight he doesn't need to win. He doesn't let sudden excitement make him careless. He's not cold, he's in control. And here's why that matters. When a woman sees you can hold steady in chaos, she instinctively relaxes. Because she knows your presence, won't shatter the moment things get hard. In a world full of men who lose themselves in every emotion, the one who can stand calm, no matter the storm, becomes unforgettable. It's not about suppressing your feelings. It's about mastering them so they serve you instead of control you. Part 5. The value of silence. Most men are terrified of silence. They rush to fill every pause, thinking if they don't speak, they'll lose her attention. But what they don't realize is silence, in the hands of a confident man, is not empty. It's powerful. A Stoic man uses silence like a blade. He listens fully, without planning his reply while she talks. He lets moments breathe, so his words carry more weight when he finally speaks. And in those pauses, something subtle happens. She leans in. She feels the space and wants to fill it with more of herself. Silence is also a mirror to your inner world. If you can sit quietly without needing constant noise, it tells her you're not desperate for distraction. You're comfortable in your own skin, and that comfort is rare. It's the kind of presence that makes her feel grounded, without you saying a single word. Because sometimes the most attractive thing a man can say is nothing at all. Part 6. Selective generosity. Generosity is a beautiful trait, but only when it's given with intention. Most men give too much, too soon, time, energy, money, thinking it will buy affection. What it really buys is disrespect. A Stoic man is generous, but selective. He doesn't give to be liked. He gives because it aligns with his values. His time, only for those who respect it. His resources, only for those who appreciate them. His energy, only for what truly matters. And here's the truth. When you give sparingly, your giving means more. A compliment from you carries weight because you don't hand them out carelessly. Your help is valued because it's rare. This isn't about being cold. It's about protecting your energy so that when you do give, it's felt deeply. A man who gives to everyone is forgettable. A man who gives to the right people at the right time becomes unforgettable. Part 7. Purpose over approval. Most men live for approval. They bend their opinions, their schedule, even their dreams, just to be liked. But the man who chases approval will never be respected. A Stoic man lives for purpose. His decisions are anchored in his values, not in the applause of others. He'll walk alone if it means staying true to his path. And because of that, when people follow him, it's not because he begged for it. It's because they trust where he's going. Women feel this difference instantly. A man who needs her approval will eventually need her permission to be himself. A man with purpose, he inspires her to rise to his standard. Purpose is magnetic. It tells the world, I'm not here to please you. I'm here to build something bigger than both of us. And when you live like that, approval stops being something you chase. It becomes something that quietly follows you. Part 8. The unreachable summit. Some men peak too early. They win a little, get comfortable, and slowly, they stop growing. And when there's nothing new to discover in them, interest fades. A Stoic man is different. He is a mountain that can be climbed, but never fully conquered. Every time she thinks she's reached the top, she discovers there's another ridge, another view, another challenge that makes her want to keep going. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about being a man in constant evolution, learning, building, refining. Your mind gets sharper, your body stronger, your spirit calmer. And that steady rise makes you endlessly compelling. Because here's the truth. When you are the unreachable summit, she never stops to climb. Not because she can't have you, but because she knows you'll always have more to give, more to show, more to be. And that is the kind of man she'll never forget. So here's the truth, my friend. You don't need a perfect face, a heavy bank account, or a life that looks like a movie. What you need is to become a man anchored in himself, a man with an unshakable frame, a man who masters his emotions, speaks less but means more, gives with precision, and walks with purpose. A man who is always evolving, yet never desperate to be seen. When you live this way, you stop chasing. You stop trying to prove yourself. Instead, you become the kind of man people gravitate toward naturally. The kind she can't quite figure out and doesn't want to stop trying. Remember, women may be drawn to looks, money, or charm in the short term, but it's your presence, your depth, and your quiet strength that will keep them coming back, long after the spark should have faded. So stand firm, grow relentlessly, and let the world feel the weight of a man who cannot be moved